Hi there, this is the Aptitude Guy. Welcome to another lesson video of quantitative aptitude. This is part 2 of the topic profit and loss. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, definitely watch it. I'll link that in the I button over here. And if at all you haven't watched percentages, then definitely watch it before that. Alright, that also I'll link in the I button over here. So without any further ado, let's get started. Question number 1. If at all you have trouble remembering the formula or the concept, definitely watch part 1 again. I am telling you again. Pause the video, try to solve this question and then come back. Alright, let's do it. In a certain store, the profit is 320% of the cost. Remember in the previous video, I told you guys how to figure out which one to assume as 100. Always assume the reference as 100. Over here they have mentioned the profit is 320% of the cost. Of the cost. So cost price is 100 rupees. We assume this. Alright. Now, profit is 320% of the cost. So gain is 320% of 100. That is equal to 320. X percent of 100 is always equal to X. Now, we have cost price, we have profit. So obviously the next best step is to find the selling price. Now, do we have to add them or subtract them in order to find the selling price? This is profit, gain. In gain, selling price is more because that is why the profit happened, because you sold it at a higher price, and more means plus. So we have 100 plus 320, that is equal to 420. Alright, so this was part 1 of the question. See, please don't try to solve the entire question in one shot. You can't, you just can't. Always remember in aptitude questions, the entire question is a combination of several smaller problems. You deal with the smaller problems, then the bigger problem will take care of itself. Remember that. Okay, let's continue. If the cost increases by 25%, initially the cost was 100, now the new cost is 100 plus 25%. That is equal to 125. Okay, but the selling price remains constant. So the selling price is 420 itself. That does not change. That means the profit changes. Initially the profit was 320. Now of course the profit will change. How much is the profit? The difference between these two. We have 420 minus 125. That is equal to 295. That is the new profit. Now, very important stuff. They have asked approximately what percentage of the selling price is profit. Now, many people who give the answer as option D, they don't read this part of the question properly. They think that they have just asked us to find the gain percentage. And gain percentage, if they had asked us to find, that would have simply been the profit, that is 295, divided by cost price, that is 125 into 100. But unfortunately, this is the wrong answer because they have not asked us to find the profit percentage. They have asked us to find approximately what percentage of the selling price is profit. Of the selling price. So we need to find profit percentage with respect to selling price. Now, normally speaking, for profit percentage or loss percentage, we divide it by cost price. But in this case, since it's with respect to the selling price, we have to divide it by the selling price. Selling price is 420 into 100. Now, many people, what they do is they feed this into their calculator, they get 70 point something, so they end up marking 70% as the answer. But the problem here is this. There's a beautiful word in this question called approximately. Whenever you get the word approximately in an aptitude question, that means the question is giving you the license to play around with the numbers. Now, a lot of people do not know how to properly use this word approximately. Because what they do is They do the heavy lifting over here, they do the heavy calculation, and they approximate it in the end. But what is stopping you from approximating at the beginning itself? Let's do that. Now 295 divided by 420. Let's approximate it. 295 approximately is 300. 420 is approximately 400 into 100. So 0 and 0 gets cancelled. 3 by 4 into 100 is nothing but 75%. Now which of these options is nearest to 75%? That is the answer. So what is the answer, of course? Answer is 70%. This is how you use the word approximately. Not by actually calculating it and then approximating it. No, don't do that. Approximate it during the solution itself. Now a lot of people ask me a very valid question. They ask me, you got the approximate answer as 75%. What if in the options you had 80% also? 70% and 80%, both of them are equidistant to 75%. How would you know which one to choose? That is a very nice question. In order to answer that question, you have to look at the way you have approximated the numbers. 295 became 300. So the numerator increased. When the numerator increases, the value increases. Now what happens to the denominator? 420 became 400. So the denominator decreased. When the denominator decreases, again the value increases. That means this answer is definitely more than the correct answer. So answer can never be more than 75% for such a question. So the answer has to be less than 75%. So option C and option D are automatically gone. And option A is way too smaller than 75. So obviously that is also gone. The only thing left out is 70%. Done. That's it. So yes, I know this explanation took some time, but the explanation is not that long. It's just that I explained multiple things to you here. But nonetheless, if you still have some doubts in this one, definitely drop your doubts in the comments. I will answer your doubts. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. All right. They have said an object is sold for 150 rupees. Now, in this question, can we assume anything to be 100? We can't, because the question has given us solid information. That is, the selling price is equal to 150 rupees. Now, the profit is 50% on the selling price. This part is extremely important. It is 50% on the selling price. So profit is 50% of 150. 50% of 150, that is half of 150, that is 75. Now let us quickly find the cost price. We have gain. In gain, selling price is more, cost price is less. Less means subtraction. So we have 150 minus 75, that is equal to 75. Okay, this is part 1 of the question. Now let's start with part 2. If the article is bought for 25 rupees less, bought means cost price, sold means selling price. So it's bought for 25 rupees less, that means part 2 of cost price is 75 minus 25. That is equal to 50. What price must be marked so as to gain 40% by selling the object at marked price? The mention of marked price over here is absolutely useless. It makes no change to the final answer. Okay? Because they are selling the object at marked price. If you're selling it at marked price, what's the point of giving marked price? The question is simply asking if the gain is 40%, then selling price will be how much? That's all. So there is a gain which is 40%. Now, this 40% gain, is this with respect to cost price or selling price? Like I said, when nothing has been mentioned, you assume it to be cost price. But if at all this specifically mentioned, it's on selling price, then it is on selling price. So this gain of 40% is 40% on cost price. What is 40% on cost price? 40% of cost price is 50. So 40% of 50 is of course 20. Done. Now we have to find the selling price. Very easy. Selling price is equal to the sum of cost price and gain. That is 50 plus 20, that is equal to 70. Done. Answer is option D. Any doubts over here? Definitely ask me in the comments. If at all you do not understand something, first rewind the video and watch the explanation again. If you still don't understand it, then definitely drop your doubts in the comments. Basically, you have to be very careful about two things over here. Profit is 50% on the selling price, and then this profit is on cost price. That's it. Let's move on to the next question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do it. Joey has 12 eggs with him. Okay. If Joey has 12 eggs with him, he sells eggs at a profit of 10% and remaining at a loss of 10%. This is the same Joey from Friends who does not share food, but he can sell the food. Yes. So he has 12 eggs, x, and the remaining eggs are 12 minus x. A lot of people make a mistake and write x minus 12 over here. No, x eggs are gone, the remaining are 12 minus x. So x eggs are sold at a profit of 10%. 12 minus x eggs are being sold at a loss of 10%. And overall, there is a profit of 5%. So what is the value of x? That is the question. Now, we can solve this question using a very simple equation. Let's do that. We have x eggs being sold at a profit of 10%. Profit of 10% means 110%. Plus, you have the remaining eggs, that is 12 minus x. These eggs are being sold at a loss of 10%. Loss of 10% means 90%. This is equal to overall. How many eggs are there? We have 12 eggs, and 12 eggs are being sold at a profit of 5%. Profit of 5% means 105%. That's it. That is our equation. We have one full equation and one unknown. Let's solve it. 100, 100 and 100 gone, of course. Now, let us solve the question. We have 110x plus 12 into 90 minus 90 into x equals 12 into 105. 110 minus 90x is 20x. This is equal to 12 into 105 minus 12 into 90. Now, am I an idiot and I do not know how to multiply 12 and 105 and 12 and 90? No. I know how to do it, but I will not, because I can save my time over here. We can take 12 common and we have 105 minus 90. This is equal to 20x. So x is equal to how much? We have 12 into 105 minus 90 is 15 divided by 20 comes at the bottom denominator over here. We have 20. That's it. Now let's cancel things out. 4 3s are 12, 4 5s are 20. And 5 3s are 15. So what is the final answer? We have 3 3s are 9. Done. Answer is option B. So 9 eggs are being sold at a profit of 10% and the remaining 3 eggs are being sold at a loss of 10%, but still overall there is a profit of 5%. That's it. That is the question. In this question, all you have to do is focus on getting the right equation. If you get the right equation, trust me, 80% of your solution is done right there. After that is just mere calculation. That's all. Any doubts over here, any particular step that you want me to repeat, let me know in the comments. I will definitely explain it to you. Otherwise, let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Some articles were bought at 6 articles for 5 rupees and sold at 5 articles for 6 rupees. The gain percentage is what? All right. This question is different from all the other questions. How is it different? Because in all the previous questions, the only thing that was changing was the price. But the number of articles stayed the same. But in this question, the price is changing and the number of articles is also changing. That is the issue. Now, how to solve it? Let's do it. In such questions where the number of articles is also changing, always remember that your best friend is the number 1. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you in some time. Let's first write the data. Some articles were bought at 6 articles for 5 rupees. That means cost price of 6 articles is equal to 5 rupees. And selling price of 5 articles is equal to 6 rupees. Now, I said in such questions, your best friend is the number 1. What I mean by that is, we need to find the cost price of 1 article. Cost price of 6 articles is 5 rupees. So cost price of 1 article is how much? Sometimes people say 6 by 5. Sometimes people say 5 by 6. If you are also confused with this, then I'll tell you something which will completely remove that confusion forever. Okay. So always remember, whatever becomes 1, that goes to the denominator. What has become 1 over here? The number of articles. Cost price of 6 articles is 5 rupees. So cost price of 1 article will be how much? What becomes 1? 6 becomes 1. So 6 goes to the denominator and cost price of 1 article becomes 5 by 6. See, similarly, it's like saying if cost price of 5 chocolates is equal to 10 rupees, then cost price of 1 chocolate will be how much? Obviously 10 by 5, that is 2 rupees, right? The same thing is happening over here. Similarly, tell me, what will be the selling price of 1 article? Now what becomes 1? 5 becomes 1. If 5 becomes 1, then 5 goes to the denominator, so we have 6 by 5. So cost price of 1 article and selling price of 1 article we have. Now, without any further ado, we can find the profit percentage. So in order to find the gain percentage, we need to first find the gain. The gain is the difference between these two, of course. We have 6 by 5 minus 5 by 6 divided by the cost price or selling price. Nothing has been mentioned, so obviously it's divided by cost price, that is 5 by 6 into 100. So the LCM of 5 and 6 and what? LCM of 5 and 6 is 30. So we have 30 into 6 by 5, that is equal to 36. 30 into 5 by 6 is equal to 25 divided by 5 by 6 into 100. This is equal to 36 minus 25, 11 by 30 into denominator of denominator becomes numerator, 6 by 5 into 100. Now my favorite step, let's cancel things out. We have 6 5s are 30, 5 5s are 25, 25 4s are 100. So what is the answer over here? 11 into 4, that is 44%. Answer is option D. Now some of you, what you might have done is, you would have found the LCM of 6 and 5 over here itself. So instead of finding the cost price and selling price of 1 article, you might have done cost price and selling price of 30 articles. So cost price of 6 articles is 5 rupees. Cost price of 30 articles will be 5 into 5, 25. Similarly, selling price of 30 articles will be 36. And then you can solve it like a normal question. That is not a wrong method, but that method has some limitations. For example, using that method, you cannot solve the very next question. But using this method, where you convert everything to one article, you can solve the next question also. But in this question, if you have any doubts, definitely drop them in the comments. Alright, let's move on to the next question. The cost price of 20 articles is the same as the selling price of X articles. If the profit is 25%, then X is what? See, I told you, you cannot use the LCM method over here, because here you will have to find the LCM of 20 and X. How will you do that? You can't. So use my method, try to solve it, pause the video and then come back. Alright, let's do it. Let's first write the data. The cost price of 20 articles is the same as the selling price of X articles. Okay. Cost price of 20 articles is equal to selling price of X articles. And let that price be P. Can't take it as X because X is already something else. Alright, now what do we learn from this? We have cost price of 20 articles equals P. That means what is the cost price of one article? Like we studied in the previous question, whatever becomes 1, that goes to the denominator. So cost price of 20 articles is P, cost price of one article is P by 20. Similarly, selling price of X articles is P, so selling price of one article is equal to P by X. Because X becomes 1, X goes in the denominator. Now, they have asked that the profit is 25%, then X is how much? Alright, the gain is 25%. How do you find the value of X? The best way to do that would be like this. Gain is 25%. That means selling price is how much percent of cost price? Selling price is 125% of cost price. Now selling price is P by X. Let's substitute. We have P by X equals 125 by 100 into cost price is P by 20. Now at the first glance, when you look at this equation, you may feel that it is impossible to solve because one equation and two unknowns. But P and P very conveniently get cancelled. So X is equal to 100 into 20 divided by 125. Let's cancel things out now. We have 25 fours are 100, 25 fives are 125 and 5 fours are 20. So what is the final answer? The final answer is 4 into 4, that is equal to 16. So cost price of 20 articles is the same as selling price of 16 articles in order to make a profit of 25%. It's the same price but you're selling less products. So that is what it is. Any doubts in this particular solution and any step that you want me to repeat, let me know in the comments. I will definitely do that. And like I said, in such questions where number of articles is changing, your best friend is the number 1 always. Okay? With that, we are done with the lesson part of profit and loss. As usual, here are some extra questions. Definitely try to solve them and post your answers in the comments. I'll tell you if your answers are right or wrong. Take your own sweet time and try to answer it. There is no hurry. Okay, screenshot the questions or pause the video and then solve it. And with that, we are done with profit and loss. Thank you so much for watching this video. If at all this video helped you rectify some doubts or some mistakes that you have always been making, then consider liking the video so that it stays in your liked videos version of your YouTube app. And if at all this channel has helped you in the other topics also, then consider subscribing, of course. If you want to watch the previous video, that is part 1 of profit and loss, definitely watch it over here. And if you want to watch the next video, it's right here. Alright, thank you so much once again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.